Hello, my name is Victoria Seed, and I am coming to you from the Vesta Approach in Manchester, UK. I help professional women who are affected by a loved one's alcohol or drug use and who want to change their lives so that they can reduce stress, live a better life, reach their goals in terms of their sense of purpose. So, if that sounds like you, then please get in touch because I can help. And the way I help is by teaching my clients, coaching, mentoring through their recovery journey by teaching really effective evidence-based strategies to cope. So yeah, get in touch if you need my help. Every Friday at 11 o'clock, I have a 10 at 11 session, which is a 10-ish minute session on a topic related to addiction and family recovery. So today's topic is, what boundaries should I be setting? And I think this is really important because people really struggle with setting boundaries and sticking to them. So watch this space. If you are watching, feel free to comment below or drop me a DM if you have any questions, and I'll be happy to help. Now, before we start, I just want to point you in the right direction of a freebie that I've created just for you. If you go to vestaapproach.co.uk/freebie, you will find it there, and you can get my top 10 tips for family recovery straight into your inbox. If you're not a professional woman, if you are another professional helping families, this will also be great for you as well. So have a look at that for me, and then I'm going to get straight into this. So what I'm going to be talking to you about is my 5 key points when it comes to what boundaries should you be setting. So the first thing is, your boundaries always need to be around you and not the other person. And I have talked about this quite a lot recently in some of the other videos, so check them out. But I think the mistake that I hear commonly made with my clients is that they're really trying to put boundaries around someone else. And it just doesn't work. If you're forcing somebody to behave in a certain way, they are going to put the barriers up. They're not going to do what you say. We can't control anyone else. You're not winning. They're not winning. Your needs aren't being met. They're meeting their own needs. Do you know what I mean? So don't do that. Think about the I words, what you need. So when you're communicating with your loved one, you're asking for what you need. You're not telling them what to do. So the second thing is, I can't tell you what your boundaries are because they are personal to you. So, for example, I've worked with lots and lots of women, and some women have been like, right, okay, I accept that they've got this problem with the drugs and alcohol. However, I've got children, but I don't want them to be doing this outside the house because that is going to cause me unnecessary stress and worry. I'd rather know where they are. So, their boundary may well be, when you are drinking or using your substance, if you are at home, if the children are at home, if I am present, you need to go into another room if you're intoxicated. By the way, we don't want to be bringing drugs into a home where there's children. They've got to be safely secured if you're allowing that within your boundaries. So you've got to think about what you really can accept and what you cannot accept about their substance use. Part of that journey is to accept that they have that problem. Don't keep fighting against it. We've got to work with it. So have a think about that. What is important to you? What can you accept and what can you not accept? And turn that into I statements. So what I need is this, okay, around me, because you're putting it around you. So be careful not to say, what I need you to do is this, because that's going back to telling them what to do. So what do you need around you? So for example, I do not want substances around me, and I don't want anyone intoxicated around me. So what I need is, when you drink or when you use your substance, if you wouldn't mind going into the other room, because I can't have it around me or the children. Really clear. That's it. You don't need a big long conversation about it. Okay, so that's that one. Your boundaries are personal to you. Number 3, ask yourself, can you follow your boundary through? Okay, and the consequences of it. So going back to that example, if you're saying you must not come into this house if you're intoxicated, is, can you follow that through? Are you going to be on the phone to them a million times trying to find out where they are after they've done what you said and followed that through? Do you know what I mean? Or the consequences, or a boundary might be, if you continue to use your substance, I'm gonna have to ask you to leave the house, right? If you frame it like that, then you're suggesting that they're going to leave the house regardless. Another way of saying that could be, if I don't see a change within, around the behaviors that you're choosing, then I'm going to have to think about you're living here. And part of that might be that you say, I will be more than happy to help and support you find somewhere else to live. I'm not throwing you out on the streets, okay? So it's what you can live with. There's a lot of tough love kind of language, but it doesn't mean that you have to be horrible to people, okay? Because we want to be kind, compassionate, and caring always in our work, even if you can't stand your loved one and you've been through so much with them. We just want to be kind, compassionate, and caring wherever possible. Because if you didn't love them, you wouldn't be here, right? Okay, so you've got to make sure you can follow through with your boundary and stick to it. Okay, that's the other thing, because so many people set boundaries and they just don't stick to them. So it's totally and utterly pointless. You've got to stick to it like a broken record. Use the broken record technique. Your loved one is going to clash up against it because the drug, the alcohol, and your loved one, they don't want you interfering with it. So whatever you put into place that's going to interfere with the substance use, they're going to be pushing against it. Okay. Number 4, how are you going to communicate your boundaries to your loved one without conflict? So I just gave you that example. So, you might have within your relationship that you sit down and have conversations. And I've worked with lots of different types of people with lots of different personalities. So if you're able to sit down and have that conversation, fantastic, fill your boots, do it. But a lot of people, they may not want to do that. You might be able to communicate them better without it being face to face. And it depends on obviously your relationship with the person as well. Is it your son or daughter? Is it your husband, partner, auntie, uncle, whoever it is? So, you've got to think, how are you going to communicate it without conflict? Because strip some of that emotion out so you can have that calm conversation with them. And sometimes it might just be, listen, when we have a plan and you turn up to that, if we've booked dinner or whatever, and you turn up to it and you're intoxicated, that upsets me. So I'd really like it in the future if you can let me know if you're going to have a drink or take drugs so that I can make other plans. All right. That's it. You don't have to wait for a response if you don't want to. You can say, okay, I'm guessing that's all right. So I'm just going to make us a cup of tea or whatever it is that you do. All right. So communicate it without conflict. And number 5, boundaries need to be focused on the most important issues for you. So if you do that, writing down what you need, what is important, what you can accept, what you can't accept, you've got to leave the small stuff. We want to be focusing on the thing that's having the most impact on you. All right. Telling someone, by the way, to stop using drugs and alcohol, you're not going to get anywhere with that. We've got to do it in other ways. Okay. So we're going to take it one step at a time. So pick between ideally one, no more than 3 things to work on at a time, because you're going to overwhelm yourself. You're going to forget what you've even said. Put a note in your phone and stick to it like a broken record. So whenever you get that pushback, just repeat your boundary. Okay. Don't sweat the small stuff. Think about what you need to happen and pick one, no more than 3 to work on at a time. So let's recap that. The boundaries need to be around you. Number 2, I can't tell you what boundaries you can have because they're personal to you. This is what we do in my work. So if you need help, get in touch. Number 3, ask yourself, can you follow that boundary through and the consequences with your loved one? Because if you can't, don't set it. Think about how you're communicating that boundary without conflict, and focus on the most important issues, not the small stuff. Okay, so if you need any help, please feel free to drop me a message for a friendly chat. I will book that in with you. Again, you can get my freebie at vestaapproach.co.uk/freebie straight into your inbox with my top 10 tips. Hope that's okay. Hope it's useful. Let me know. I'll see you next week.